Hello again. Welcome back to Satan's Trilogy. This is Book 3, Chapter 4, and it's reading 95. It's going to be a short video to wrap up Chapter 4. Sit back, relax, let the story unfold. I am the author and the narrator. "Good morning, Day," said Esther. "I have wonderful news. Danielle and Tracy are back, and they have tickets for us to a grudge match this Saturday." Esther was excited, and she knew that Day would be too. "What?" said Day. "Danielle and Tracy are back? When?" Esther was elated and giggled as she explained. "They knocked on the door this morning at about 1. "How do they look?" asked Day. "Well, they look tired, but they also looked happy," said Esther. "They are where they want to be, and it looks like they are enjoying it." Esther said thoughtfully. "Wow," Dave said, and quickly added, "You said they have tickets for a grudge match?" "That's right. It seems to be a last-minute event scheduled here in Chicago," said Esther. "Oh my gosh." "Esther, this is really exciting. I am at school. Are you close?" said Day. Esther rode into the parking lot as Day finished her sentence. John was there with Wes and Mike. They usually waited for Esther's arrival before going into the school. John liked seeing Esther in the morning, and he felt a bit of kinship to her. John was an only child, but he thought of Esther as a little sister. John was slightly older. Riding into the parking lot, slightly faster than usual, Esther came to a quick stop between John and Day. Removing her helmet, Esther quickly moved her head to help free her long hair from the constraints the helmet had made. John didn't notice her nearly poetic movement of her hair. Instead, he quickly commented, "Esther, you have a new Ninja ZZR 1400. "It is awesome," said John. Mike and Wes were both checking the bike out and were commenting, "Oh my God, I have to have one." Esther chuckled just a bit. "Well, guys, I spoke with my cousin, Yen, yesterday, and he has agreed the three of you can trade your bikes in for the ZZR 1400, and that will finalize your trade-in." "Oh my God, Esther, I love you." Wes had lost control and kissed Esther on the cheek. He was so happy. "Hey, you three helped me. You earned the car, and you three made a deal for the bikes with a one-time upgrade." Esther smiled. "Three of you made some good decisions, and they are paying off. Cousin Yan is happy with this final transaction." Esther added, "Another option, though, is to keep your bike, and he'll give you free service for as long as you own the bike." Esther smiled as she turned to Day and winked. Esther looked at the three young men studying her bike. "I told Cousin Yan to hold 3 bikes for you guys. You are all excellent riders. You'll love this bike." Esther smiled and asked, "Did I guess right?" This time, all three gave Esther a hug. "I told Cousin Yan to give each of you a custom paint job. That is our graduation gift to you guys from Day and me." Everyone had started walking towards the school's front door. John seemed truly touched by the gesture. "That is so cool. I love it. Thank you. That's my first gift for graduation." Mike and Wes both thanked Esther and Day. The five walked along the wide sidewalk alongside of each other with an arm around the person next to them. The school year was nearly ending, and the five young people now felt a bond that would last a lifetime. Once inside, everyone said goodbye and headed to their locker. While grabbing her books out of the locker, Esther heard the announcement on the speaker system. First hour has been canceled, and there will be a student assembly in the West Gymnasium. The voice belonged to Mr. Mason, the school superintendent. Esther found Day, and they headed towards the gymnasium. Helen, Chris, and Eve joined them on the way. Once in the gymnasium, Raven was already on the bleachers waving to them to join her. Mr. Mason seemed eager to start the assembly and was talking on the PA system, asking the students to hurry and take a seat. There appeared to be several dignitaries to make shift to the makeshift stage, and Ms. Strong seated along them. Mr. Mason said, "All right, I believe we are here. First of all, if you don't already understand it, you are all tremendously lucky. You were all given guaranteed scholarships this semester by an anonymous donor that wanted to invest in the students of Grant High School." Mr. Mason paused, then with tremendous enthusiasm said, "And that is why I am proud beyond description when 60 girls in the 6th-hour PE class chose to work hard, to challenge each other, to run faster than anyone thought possible. These girls have just returned from the Illinois Cross Country Championship, and they were all victorious. I have received calls from all of the state universities saying they will offer full scholarships to any and all of the runners." Mr. Mason then turned to Ms. Strong and said, "Their coach and instructor would now like to take the podium." Ms. Strong stood up and quickly took the podium and spoke. "Challenges come from the outside, and determination to meet those challenges comes from within." Ms. Strong continued, "I would like every girl from the 6th-hour class to please come down from the bleachers and stand in front of me." All 60 girls reluctantly came down from the bleachers and stood on the floor in front of the podium. The entire school body was applauding as the girls made their way to the floor. Ms. Strong continued, "These girls challenged each other, and then they helped each other. They all broke the state's record for cross country. The state, and now the country, has been shown that there are no losers at Grant High School." Ms. Strong continued, "These girls have shown the entire state that we at Grant High are not lazy, and that we can and will work hard no matter the challenge." At that moment, several teachers rode out a large table on wheels and positioned it in front of the assembly hall. As they removed a sheet covering the table, the state's cross-country championship trophy was made visible. Ms. Strong said, "The 6th-hour girls have brought home this trophy to Grant High. I believe that each student in this school can someday equally make us proud. Show the world we are strong, and you are a force to be reckoned with. I know that you can do all this." Ms. Strong motioned for the girls to come over. "I want each of you to help hold this trophy high." The girls closest grabbed the trophy. It stood at least 3 feet tall. They raised it above their shoulders. They then passed it along the line of girls until at the end, the final 3 were holding the trophy above their heads. They brought the trophy back to the table and joined the rest. This took less than a minute, and the school students' body yelled and whistled as each girl held the trophy. Miss Strong then continued as the students' applause softened. I want all of you to be the best that you can be. The Grant High 6-hour girls class has done this, and so can each of you. Miss Strong stood back and applauded the girls and then returned to the stadium and applauded the student body. As the crowd calmed down, Miss Strong spoke again. I went to the state competition with 60 girls, and each one of them broke the state cross-country record. The students broke out yelling and applauding. Miss Strong smiled, waited a minute, then continued. A certain amount of pain is experienced while running this hard, and one girl chose to ignore the pain and push herself to her limits. She led the 6-hour class to a record-breaking run that will stand for years to come. I would like to ask Dae Ho to come forward and to make a few comments. The entire student body stood up, yelling and applauding. Dae was frantic and terrified at once. She had never spoken in public, and certainly not to nearly 2,000 people. Esther quickly grabbed Dae while smiling and giving her a hug. Esther then whispered into her ear, "Imagine that only our Father is sitting in the bleachers in front of you, and you are talking to him." Esther stood back, and as she did, she blew some of her warm breath over Dae's face. Dae felt Esther's calm and had heard her voice, and so as she made her way to the podium, she started to focus on seeing her father on the bleachers. The students remained standing, but slowly stopped yelling and waited for Dae to speak. Dae looked up and down the bleachers and took in the vastness of the student body. She then found her father sitting on a bleacher, so she started to speak. "I have always loved Grant High, and I have always loved Chicago. We welcome people from all over the world that have hopes and dreams of a better life. My father came to this country over 18 years ago. He came from Korea, hoping for a better life." Dae took another breath and again spoke. The 6th-hour girls class was given a challenge to start at the start of the semester. That was to run every day we had class. My sister told me on the first day of class that if we ran hard, we would all lose 2 dress sizes in 5 months' time. A lot of the students chuckled. My sister, Esther, kept me motivated to run hard, and I noticed the rest of our class decided that they wanted to pass me. So the competition for first place began. Dae smiled. It seems we all began as competitors, and we finished as teammates. The students began to applaud, and the applause grew louder. Dae again spoke. 60 girls decided to apply 100% to running, and we all finished within inches of each other. Dae paused and then said, "Looking back, it was a wonderful time, and I hope that some of you will find the same rewards that we did next year." Dae stood back, and the students went wild with applause and whistling. Miss Strong came to Dae's side. Grabbing her right arm, she held it into the air in a victorious motion. Dae's best friends and Esther were all applauding. When they ran to join her at the podium, she had inspired everyone with her speech. Esther was especially proud. Surrounding Dae, they all raised her onto their shoulders for the student body to see. That's the end of Chapter 4 for Book 3. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, be safe and take care. Thank you for listening.